I was wondering how this show was gonna be at first. I mean, I knew the show was gonna be good, but honey, it started out with the drama, and I'm here for it. And now I know some people don't like Tyler Perry, but I'm not one of them people, honey. I love all his shows and all his movies, but this show, I think this show is bringing. Let's get into Tyler Perry's Divorce Sisters season 1, episode 1, The Pretty Lady. Girl, hey, Chatterboxes. Hey, I'm your girl Nele, and welcome back to Easy Convos. And today we are talking about Tyler Perry's Divorce Sisters, Season 1, Episode 1, The Pretty Lady. Now, I had to take some notes because this is the first episode, and it take you a minute to get down off into it, but I am into it, okay? So, I did some research, took some notes, and I'm going to try to bring y'all into this and help y'all get into this show, okay? So we on episode 1, and we have Geneva, Tiffany, and Rashida. Um, and in this episode, they confront personal betrayals as tension rises while preparing for a church banquet. And Naomi seeks revenge on her ex-husband amid her tumultuous divorce. Okay, so that's what this episode is about. So we start with Tiffany and Geneva in the SUV going to pick Anika, which is Geneva's daughter, up from school. So they're talking and they're having a conversation, and this whole conversation sets the tone for the entire show. They let us know that Rashida will pray you down as she is the first lady, the pastor's wife, right? And then we have Naomi, as you heard in the description of the show, she is going through a tumultuous divorce and trying to get revenge on her ex-husband. And so she just in a mood, and Tiffany, like, honey, she just of the devil right now. And she just going down through there. Then we have Tiffany. She has adult kids, and she just been through a rough divorce. And then we have Geneva, and she works a lot and really needs a break as she is an attorney. I want to say she is a partner at her law firm, but she has a heavy workload. So anyway, Tiffany going to pick up Geneva, and Tiffany and Geneva are going to pick up Geneva's daughter Anika, and they are talking. And Geneva and her husband William are going to Italy for a trip, and Tiffany is going to keep Anika for a week while they are gone. So basically, I guess Tiffany is with Geneva to learn the pickup, because she'll be picking up and dropping Anika off at school. So she's going through the pickup line with her, learning the routine and getting it down or whatever. And they discussing their lives, and Tiffany is saying she got a divorce from her husband John, and he left her broke, not only broke but her heart broken as well. And Naomi got a divorce from her husband Franklin, and not only did she get divorced from him, but she got half his fortune. And so apparently she got divorced from him because he done left her for a younger white lady that's like 25, that's like super younger than they are. And that's why Tiffany think Naomi should be more grateful, because at least she wasn't left broke like she was left broke. At least she got some money out of the deal instead of just being left broke and brokenhearted. And they understand that Naomi is brokenhearted and all, but they need her to stop acting out and drinking and being so wild. So then we have Bridget. Bridget is Rashida's assistant at the church, and Tiffany said she got loose lips. So that's all the girls so far. So Geneva picks up her daughter Anika from school, and the teacher says, "Oh, it's nice to see you in the carpool. It's normally your husband or the nanny." And Anika was like, "Oh, I had time to pick her up today, but I have a very heavy schedule, and it's normally really full, and I don't get to pick her up." And the teacher's like, well, we're glad to see you. We like to see both parents engaged. And that's what the teacher tells us. And Anika just looking at her sideways, like, okay, I'm here. So they show Rashida, and her husband is Pastor Jeff, and she is First Lady. So they are at the church, like at a, I'm not gonna, like, I don't know if you want to call it a board meeting, but they're having a meeting where they are going over the seating for the banquet, and Jeff wants an extra seat. And Rashida's like, what do we need an extra seat for? And he was like, for a guest. And she's like, like, what guest is it? What do you need the extra seat for? He's like, for Franklin in case he come. And Rashida's like, Naomi's coming, because Naomi is Rashida's best friend. And Jeff is like, well, I can't help that. We need all the big hitters at this banquet so we can get these donations in, because we need all the big donors here, and Franklin apparently must be a big donor. And Naomi is like, they're going through a bad divorce, and Jeff is not, that's not my problem. She ought to know how to act, basically, is what he's saying. And Naomi is still, Rashida is still like, but he and Naomi don't get along. And Jeff don't care. He like, that's your girl. You need to talk to her. That's not my problem. I'm worried about donors for this banquet. I ain't worried about that drum and how she feel about it. So Rashida is just like stressed at this point, because she like, now she got to figure out how to uninvite Naomi, because she don't want the whole banquet to go up in smoke, because Naomi might come in and act the whole fool when she see Franklin there if he come. So meanwhile, while they going over the banquet, Bridget asks Jeff how long he need to speak, and he makes this little snide comment about you might need to ask Rashida how long she need, because I don't need but 5 minutes, but when my wife gets to talking, she may take 3 hours. And he made like the snide come in front of Jeff assistant Myron and in front of Bridget, just kind of like talking like smart, like in a smart way in front of them, whatever. It was kind of disrespectful. So anyway, then they go back to Naomi pulling up at Geneva's house waiting for her. So Geneva gets home and gets out with Tiffany and Anika, and Naomi is like, have you went over the lawsuit yet? Like, what's it all about? So the lawsuit is about suing Naomi for harassing him, and he needs to get back the stuff that he was supposed to get back in the divorce that Naomi hasn't gave him yet. And Geneva tries to convince her to let things go, like it's over with. Go on and give back whatever you're supposed to be giving back in the divorce, and let it go. Because she has the money. She has the money, like half of the fortune that they had together. So let's just move on from it. Tiffany, so they go on in the Geneva and Tiffany go on in the house or whatever. Naomi gets mad and leaves because she feel like they taking his side, because she said just let it go. She like, I'll get another attorney then if you don't want to fight him. She's like, it's not that. It's like you got a good settlement. It's time to let the divorce go. Like, let it go. Stop hanging on to it. Stop trying to fight him and sue him for everything. Let's move on. So Naomi got mad and left, got in her little car with her music bumping, and bonked out the driveway. So then they go in the house, and Geneva and Tiffany are sitting on the sofa, and Tiffany called Rashida. And then, of course, because Bridget is her assistant, Bridget answers the phone. And Bridget was like, hey, yeah, I need to tell y'all something, but don't, I'm going to tell you something, but don't mention it. And she's like, but first, is Naomi there? And they was like, nah, she's gone, but what's going on? And Bridget told them that Jeff invited Franklin to the banquet. And they like, oh, God, y'all know this is going to go left because Naomi ain't going to know how to act. And Bridget was like, now, he hadn't confirmed if he coming yet, but it's a big thing. It's a strong possibility that he might be coming. So how we gonna handle that if Naomi come? That's what everybody trying to figure out. So anyway, Bridget's like, but I'll get Rashida to the phone. Just give me a minute. So Bridget go knock on Rashida's door, and Rashida in her office crying because right after the meeting, she asked Jeff, because she talked to him out in the hall for a minute, and she was like, what is going on? Why are you talking to me like that in front of everybody? Like you trying to reprimand me or get on to me about how long I talk and everything in front of everybody, and like, what's going on? What's your problem with me or whatever? And they just having some issues in their relationship, and she don't know really what's going on with him, what's the cause of his behavior, whatever. So she just in her office, and she real tearful and crying, whatever, and whatnot. And Bridget told her she need to tell Geneva and Tiffany that something is going on between she and Jeff. And Bridget has already told them that something is a little shaky and off between Jeff and Rashida when she was on the phone with him. And Rashida is not ready to tell them anything just yet. So now that Jeff has invited Franklin, Rashida has to figure out how to uninvite Naomi. And since the banquet is a fundraiser, Jeff wants the biggest donors there, and Franklin is more likely to give. So he more important to have there than to have Naomi there if she ain't going to be giving anyway. So if Franklin walks in with his new young white wife, Naomi will be a whole fit, and they don't want the banquet ruined. So she got to figure out how to try to uninvite him. So she on the phone after she composed herself or whatever. She had Bridget to get Geneva on the line, and they basically trying to figure out how to uninvite Naomi, because everybody, like, Naomi gonna show out, especially if she been drinking. And Rashida like, it's a church function, it won't be no alcohol. And Tiffany's like, we talking about Tiffany and Geneva's like, but no, baby, we talking about the pregame show. And Rashida's like, huh? They was like, Naomi will be drinking before she get there. It ain't, don't worry about it not being no alcohol at the event, baby. She'll be drunk and be have her drinking done before she even get to the banquet. So Geneva said maybe they can keep her sober before the banquet. Bridget looking sideways like, y'all know this ain't gonna work. So they in that conversation because Geneva needs to start getting ready for supper and everything, and Tiffany is supposed to be going to meet Bridget at the nail salon. So Tiffany is getting ready to leave Bridget's house, and Geneva and Tiffany still sitting on the sofa as Tiffany's getting ready to go, and Anika is playing with her Barbie dolls on the living room coffee table. And then Anika says, "You so damn fine," while playing with her baby dolls. Like she got one baby doll playing with the other one, together, like how you have two dolls playing together. And Geneva was like, "Anika, what did you say?" Then she repeated again. She was like, "You so damn fine." And Geneva was like, "That's not appropriate for a 5-year-old to say, Anika." Anika was like, "Well, Daddy says it." And Tiffany smiled. She's like, she been watching y'all. And Geneva was like, "Well, you shouldn't say that." And then Anika was like, "Well, tell Daddy to stop saying it to the pretty lady." And Geneva was like, "What pretty lady?" And Tiffany was like, kids have a very vivid imagination. And Geneva wasn't trying to hear none of that, because she know doggone well she know her child. And she asked Anika again, "Anika, what pretty lady?" Anika was like, "The pretty lady at my school." And Geneva then tried to dig to see what all Anika knew. Like she had asked her the name, was it a teacher, and was just asking her all kind of questions. Anika said she brings my friend Maddie to school, and Geneva then tried to find out if it was like Maddie's mom, a nanny or something. Did she know her last name, what she looked like, and so forth. Anika could tell her all Anika could tell her was it was a pretty lady. So Tiffany told Geneva, okay, that's enough. Don't ask her no more questions because you basically trying to lawyer a 5-year-old, and that's enough questions. Like she don't know anything. Just getting her to back off. And she was like telling Geneva, don't jump to conclusions, Geneva. Don't ask any more questions. That's it. Don't jump to conclusions because it was probably nothing. So Tiffany told Geneva she was she tends to go off the deep end sometimes, and she didn't want her to go there and start getting upset. And she said the only difference between Geneva and Naomi is that Geneva goes off with more class, whereas Naomi, when she go off, she just wild and reckless. And Geneva asked her to not tell the girls and keep it between them. She didn't want to alert the girls and let them know anything just yet. So meanwhile, Naomi is at home and she has hired an escort. And y'all, guess who the escort is? It is none other than Bolo himself. Y'all know Bolo that was on the Real Housewives that they hired for the bachelorette party that time. That stripper, the same Bolo that plays on Eden, that plays on Club Eden on Madam's show, All the Queen's Men. That same Bolo is on this show, but he plays the role of Hakeem. So on this show, he known as Hakeem, right? So Naomi in there drinking, like they said, and Hakeem is asking her if this is her place and trying to figure it out and what she does and what all she got going on and what he getting himself into. He want to know if she got a man because he don't want to be jumping out no windows or nothing. And she told him she divorced, and he like, oh, so that's how you got no place. And she like, well, a woman can't work hard and get a place like this on her own. And he like, well, no. And she's like, you know what, you can get up out of my house. He's like, no, I can't. I came here to get paid to do a service, and I'm not paid leaving until I'm paid to do my service. So they started getting freaky or whatever, so he could get paid to do his service or whatnot and what have you. And they just start getting busy. So meanwhile, Geneva is still trying to figure out who Maddie's parents are along with their last name. So she come up with this idea to call the teacher and said she needed the info for a play date. But the teacher was like, I can't give you that information. But if you want to come to the next teacher parent conference and get that information from the parents yourself, you'll get to meet them. And Geneva was like, I have a real busy schedule at the law firm, so I don't know if I'll be able to make that. So if you could just give me that information, it really helped me a lot. And the teacher's like, I just can't give it to you, but I gotta go. The teacher wasn't trying to stay on the phone with her anyway. She had to go. So then Geneva comes up with the plan to go to the school to see if she can get in and tell them that she left her child left her teddy bear and she needed really, really bad. So she, cause her idea was to check the classroom and snoop around and see if she could find out the last name, the parents' name, or whatever information she could about Maddie's parents. So she went down to the school and the janitor was there cleaning up. And she told the janitor that Anika had left her teddy bear and she really needed the teddy bear real bad. And he sympathized with her and let her in and asked her which classroom. And she told her the teacher's name or whatever. And she got into the classroom. So they in there talking or whatever. And she was like, here's my daughter right here. And showed them Anika's picture. And it's like, this is her good friend right here. And I wish she could go for a play date, but I don't know people. You know how it is nowadays. I don't know people. He was old like the Houstons, so then she got the last name, which is what she was wanting. So Maddie Houston is the little girl's last name. So now she know that the parent is a salesman, and then she was talking to the janitor and trying to find out who Maddie's mother was, and he was like, "Oh, she walks around in those yoga pants all the time, and she works at a place." And I'm trying to think of the name of the place the janitor said. He said, "Oh, it's on her pants. She walks around these yoga pants all the time, and it's got and it's yoga spelled backwards, a goy. That's what's on those pants, and that's where she owns that. And so she found out through the janitor that the parents' last name is Houston. The mama owns a yoga place called Agoy, which is yoga spelled backwards. So she found out enough information, and she was like, "Oh, I think she left the bear in my other car." And he was like, "Oh, well, we better get moving along." And then she left the school. So that was that. So we get back to Naomi. Naomi finished doing the do with Hakeem, paid him, and was like, "Okay, you can leave. You can get out." After almost choking him to death, because she had one of them collars around his neck with the little leash on it, pulling it while they was getting freaky and stuff, and about choked him, and he started coughing and stuff. And she was like, "What you got, COVID? That's it. That's enough. You can get out." He was like, "You just cold blooded," like, cause they already said she was mean like the devil. But she was like, "You need to go." She threw him several $100s and was like, "Get out." He was counting the money. He was like, "This is well over what you said you would pay me or whatever." But in the meantime, she grabbing her laptop and started trying to get access to her husband, her ex-husband wife's social media page, but she blocked. And Hakeem counting his money and looking at what she doing over her shoulder, because she laid across the bed and he at the head of the bed counting his money, getting ready to go. And Hakeem was like, "I can help you with that." And she was like, "I don't need to help you with nothing. Need you to help me with nothing. Get your shit and get out." And he was like, "Well, let me help you or whatever." She ended up pulling a gun on him or whatever, telling me, "I got this, you can get out, blah blah blah." And he was like, "Shoot me if you gonna shoot me. I don't think you gonna do that." Of course she didn't. But he grabbed the laptop from her, "Don't listen." And then he started planking around on the laptop, and he said, "Oh, she a white girl. She definitely gonna add me. I'm gonna use one of my fake pages." And he used one of his fake pages, and boom, just like that, she added him. And she got access to the social media, and she was like, "Oh, look at this." And she was already heated. So anyway, she went on and told him to leave again or whatever. He was telling her, "I can help you. Yeah, I'm into a lot of stuff, and if you into this kind of stuff, I can help you out. You don't never know what you're gonna need me for, because I got all kind of services." And she's like, "I just need you to leave. What could you possibly do for me?" He's like, "You'll be surprised with what kind of services you would need and the kind of services I can help you with." So anyway, so that let me know right there, at some point in time, I feel like she's gonna be calling Hakeem back and be needing his services for something. So that went on to set the tone and the boundary for that right there. So she just wanted him to leave or however, so he goes on and leaves. So then we get back to Tiffany. So Tiffany and Bridget are getting their feet done and getting a pedicure or whatever. Now y'all, let me tell y'all something. Tyler Perry dropped the ball with this one, because how Tiffany getting her feet done and soaking in some water with some pants on, and her feet down in the water, but her pants don't get wet. Now they could have done a little better than that, because her feet are supposed to be in the water and she got pants on. Honey, Gary, they could have rolled the pants up or done something, because how your feet soaking and your pants ain't getting wet, child, if they don't stop it, because Bridget feet over there in the water bubbling, it's that little jet thing and the water be bubbling. Yeah, they could have done better than that. I peeped that, but I don't know how they let that slide. But anyway, Tiffany and Bridget both got secrets they can't tell the other one. So Tiffany asked Bridget how she and Vaughn was doing, and was she still seeing him and laying up with him, having sex, doing whatever, and they still weren't gonna get married. And so Bridget would rather discuss something else and change the subject. And so that made Bridget just give in and go on and tell what secret she had, because she wanted to discuss something else. So Bridget told Tiffany about Rashida and Jeff having issues, and Tiffany told Bridget about Anika telling Geneva that William called another woman fine and that he had kissed her. So see, they left that out before at the beginning, but that William had kissed the woman too. Bridget said that, Geneva definitely about to go down a rabbit hole, and she ain't gonna be satisfied till she find out who this person is and exactly what's going on. And Tiffany's like, well, she is, so this is about to be a whole thing. So then we get back to Rashida. Rashida stayed over after the meeting because she has to counsel this girl. And so this girl done been calling Rashida, blowing her up, really wanting to be counseled. And she done called Rashida like 10 times to be counseled. And so Rashida waiting for the girl, and the girl comes in, and she was talking about how bad she felt about herself and how down she been. And Rashida was like, I understand. And the girl was like, you probably don't. And Rashida was like, you'll be surprised at the things that I understand or whatever. And the girl said, well, I hope you can forgive me. And because she was like, do you think God will forgive me? And Rashida was like, telling her, yeah, however God will forgive her. And she said, well, I hope you will too. She's like, well, why would I have something against you? And she was like, because I've been sleeping with your husband. And she was like, telling Rashida that, and Rashida was like, how old are you? She's like 19. And she done told Rashida that she been sleeping with Pastor Jeff, child, and that's where it go off at. So now we gotta watch episode 2. Y'all be sure you click the like button and subscribe, and to see all of the Voice Sisters show reviews, you can go to the show review playlist for the Voice Sisters, and they'll all be in there.